And we're live. It is Friday, October 29th, 2021. A storm in Washington has knocked out power to a great many people, including to me until relatively recently. As a result, our esteemed guests don't have power. And so they were unable to join us today. So we have, as a result, Cheese Night.
It's true.
Cheese Night.
I am really loopy. But we do have Cheese Night.
It is Cheese Night. And I am, I have brought a special thing to Cheese Night, but I have to make it work before we can play with it.
I have a proposed poll.
Okay. What's your proposed poll?
My proposed poll is who wore it best, and we're going to vote on who's wearing the dog shirt best today, but I have a surprise contestant, Ben. So I'm going to share my screen.
I have a feeling I know.
Contestant. Yes. All right, hold on. Let me pull it up. All right.
I'm afraid it won't show up.
Let's see. Can you see it?
Yes. Oh.
Okay.
Hi. Oh my God.
Yes.
This is not a fair poll.
What is this? Yeah.
But I've put it up for you.
Oh my God.
And there's just no question about who is winning the dog shirt competition today.
Like if anyone votes for anyone else, like it's
oh
my
so
God.
funny. I had to get the pig in there. Yes, for this true spirit, we had to have his feet bare, Ben, because I feel like he wouldn't care either.
Yeah, he's not Tom Nichols.
No.
I think that we should, for people who come late, we should be able to are we eating cheese? Are you eating cheese?
I have cheese that I want to go grab.
Okay, go grab your cheese. I'll go grab my cheese. I'm on it. We do need a screenshot of Luke with the rest of us. Let's figure it out. Maybe I'll just shrink the image I have on my computer and just put it next to the screen. But there wasn't a power outage, huh? That's kind of crazy.
There were a lot of them.
Yeah, I know.
And how do we feel about power outages?
That's a good question. I mean, especially around Halloween, I find them to be wonderful.
I'm basically pro power outages.
Aren't you? I think that
I am, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm not surprised by that. I think that Genevieve, are you pro power outage?
Oh, hell yeah. Candles rule.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sharing this screenshot in our group chat, and so I'm gonna hold on. I gotta take another one with in lieu of fun. Actually, in the frame. Man, we're a mess today. I'm kind of I had this. Can I also say how do we feel about colds now that everyone can work remotely? I feel very I feel like such crap, and I just want to watch TV and be left alone and not do anything and but I could have a phone call with you, but I just feel like I'm going on nothing. And everyone was and not everyone, but people, it's I found today, did you see the New York Times article about people lying about COVID
No.
to get out of things?
That's low.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was actually really crazy. It was what is the about lying about COVID, Genevieve? Yeah, I agree. Wait, are you drinking something alcoholic? No,
it's not. Ginger ale. It's ginger ale and apple cider.
Yeah, I mean,
I have had alcohol. It's just timing it is kind of a pain.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So but I was just gonna say that the article was basically about people who had who had actively lied about certain types of things to run scams and get out of work and go to jail. But mostly it was about basically people lying to get out of weddings or lying to go to whatever. And mostly it's not about having COVID, although some people have fucked it up and said we have COVID and that's why we can't come. Um, and that backfires because then everyone gets extremely worried about you. Whereas most people lie and say apparently that they have had COVID exposure, and then like just are like, oh, I've had COVID exposure. And no offense to like students everywhere, but like if I could have a nickel for every student in every class that could not attend in person because they had COVID exposure from like their next door neighbor or their roommate or their like, you know, their like dog sitter or like whatever, I would have a lot of nickels. And I don't know. I thought it was funny, but I just like told everyone I had a legitimate cold. It wasn't COVID, but I felt like crap and I didn't want to talk to them. That was like that was the end of the conversation. I was just like, why can't we all just be more honest with each other?
I mean, it's not like we can't all identify with that feeling. I mean, the other thing is too, like people who are like fibbing about that, I feel like they've probably not been actually exposed to real COVID because it's such a serious thing that to fib is kind of crazy.
I also just really, this is frequently a plot point that never settled well with me in sitcoms and or like generally, which is like, or movies where there's all of this is maybe why I hate Larry David stuff, is like there's all of this constant lying and passive aggressiveness instead of just like stating your preferences and moving on. And I'm just like, this is the most inefficient bullshit that I'm like, just tell a person that you don't want to hang out with them and deal with the consequences of that. And then like that's the rest. Like, I'm sorry, that's called being an adult. And instead we like reward Larry David with like multiple millions of dollars of television. Like, ugh. Anyway, sorry, I've had a lot of Sudafed today.
I am so with you. It is so undervalued, the virtue of telling people what you want from them. You know, the part where you say, "Hi, Kate, here is what I would like you to do." And then you have this, it has this magical effect because Kate can either say, "Sure," or she can say, "No, I don't want to do that." Or she can say, I'm not going to do that, but I'm actually really into the idea of doing this. And it can actually start a conversation based on actual preferences, and that's kind of cool. So yeah, tell people what you want from them.
But it's not just telling people what you want. Like sometimes you don't want them. Like sometimes you decide that you don't want people. Like this is the fun. Like maybe this is Halloween themed because it's like ghosting. As
I created a verb for it because with my friends, I was like, I'm turtling tonight. I'm not going out. So it was just like, I don't have the emotional bandwidth to do this. So I would just tell them I'm turtling and that was it.
That's really good. My friend Nabia has the same, we call it the same thing. She just stops responding to text messages and we just know it's because she's turtling and it's fine. Like, we like, are like, just tell us.
Do you really call it turtling too? That's so funny.
Yeah, we do.
That's awesome. Oh.
Yeah.
I've never heard the word turtling before. I
don't know. Apparently, we like both made it up.
Into your shell and
let's write an op-ed about it, Genevieve, for Lawfare. Ready? But like, I was gonna say that like, I actually this is a little bit of this is a pain point for me, but it's a true story in which I had a friend of 12 years who ghosted on me for no reason after 12 years, long years of friendship, and like it's still really like. Nothing happened. There was, I can just vouch for it. There was no moment. She was not really connected to any other people in my life. There was no drama. I think she was going through some of her own stuff. But then I think it was one of those things where she was going through so much of her own stuff and she had stopped talking to so many people without explaining herself that she felt so guilty about it that she then decided to cut every single person off. And I just like want to be like, you could just tell me that that's what you're doing. Like that's a normal human reaction. I mean, you're getting a little old for it, but that's like, but that's the thing that people do. But I don't know. It's, it was very strange. Have you ever, why are you snapping your fingers, Ben?
Because I am trying to get an audio function to work, and I am, while muted, notice that you didn't hear me snapping my fingers, right?
No.
Oh no,
No, I did.
we heard it.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why
Oh.
would I have known that you were snapping your
Well, I
fingers?
was on camera. So wait,
You see your hands.
you can still hear me?
Yeah. I thought Gergie or Misha was doing something you didn't want them to do in the background. And you were trying to get their attention.
No. I'm testing an audio function. Hang on a second. I'm going to do something. I'm going to disappear for a moment and reappear, and you tell me if you can still hear me.
But I totally agree with your
No,
point,
we
Kate.
can't hear you. We can't hear you.
No snapping. You're a snapless turtle there.
Yep.
My dad jokes have been like on a whole nother level. It's pretty bad.
Rats.
Rats.
Um,
That was very Charlie Brown of you.
You know, I tried. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I don't. And
Can I give you like one piece of thing that I've learned from Crowdcast?
Test the audio before you launch the show?
No, it doesn't work well with any type of fancy anything. I had the fancy I mean, I don't know what you use now, but like I had the fancy camera set up for a while. I had the external microphone. The external microphone actually did end up working, but it was so much work to always like toggle it.
I'm using lots of fancy equipment right now. For example,
Really?
Yeah, let me show you. So here I'm controlling my camera from my phone. And
But like, how is it interfacing? You were controlling a fancy external camera?
Yes, and see, for example, if I wanted you to look out my window, I would go like this. And if I wanted to zoom in on Bob Mueller, I would go like this. Whoops, there's the cheese. There's Bob.
Oh, you got cheese. That's what I need to do. I need to give it cheese.
Here's Bob. And I'm zoomed in on him.
Oh, Bob.
And now I can pull the camera over to my face. But what I can't do is get my... Whoops. There we go. I can't get my sound effects to work. That's what I was working on. That's why I was snapping. I wanted to give rounds of applause to people. But...
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so, you know.
No.
Sorry.
Well, I tried a lot of things and they never worked. So maybe they would work now. Maybe like Crowdcast has gotten better. It was like early Crowdcast.
I've tried nothing, and I keep using the plug-in earphones because I'm convinced that if I try to go wireless, I'm gonna have a problem.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But
oh dear.
I would like to know, like, why has ghosting become such a thing? Like,
because people are completely emotionally ill-equipped to deal with
Can't hear
confrontation.
okay,
I really think that's it. I think that's part of the reason why we can't have dialogues about politics or where people disagree in a civilized fashion. I think that's why like breakups are so bizarre now. It's like
why we have bad art friend.
Yes, because it's just like people just are ill-equipped emotionally to handle confrontation, and they're both sides. Like it's hard to start the conversation, it's hard to receive the conversation, and we've all kind of forgotten the skill set. And it's kind of something I feel very strongly that we need to redevelop just as a society.
I love confrontation because I'm Jewish. Jews do okay with confrontation because we have a culture of interrupting each other.
I mean, it seems like an evolutionary like trait that would be good for them to have like developed.
No, come on, Greek chorus Jews. Don't Jews do confrontation well?
I'm not going to have any part in this.
It's just true. It's like it's a combative, at least Ashkenazic Jews. I mean, Sephardim are a different thing, but Ashkenazic Jews, it's a very combative culture.
See, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like
confrontation isn't necessarily combative, though, is it? Like, this is something that
No.
I kind of struggle with because, for example, it also goes back to the issue of getting the police involved in things that you don't need them to. Over the summer, our neighbor was doing something and we needed them to stop. I went over there and I asked them nicely and they stopped. It was like a noise issue. So instead of having the police come and do a whole thing with them, like, you handle it one-on-one.
But here's what happens is, like, Genevieve, you have to live next to these neighbors for the rest of your life, conceivably.
Yeah.
If you've bought homes next to them or something.
Yeah.
You have to express your preferences. They have to possibly tell you no. You have to psych yourself up to go over there and talk to them and ask them to stop doing whatever it is they're doing and to do whatever it is that you want them to do instead. And maybe they resent you for it. Maybe they there's a small rise in adrenaline. Tell me you didn't feel some type of adrenaline walking over to.
I was very nervous.
Can you stop with a leaf blower? Can you just stop? Like, why so much blowing of leaves? But
I would just like to point out that I lost the poll.
Yeah, no kidding, Ben.
I came in dead last.
I got 2. I'm shocked. Kate, you got 3 votes.
Anybody.
Oh, really?
I don't think anybody in the worked harder for the dog shirt performance today. I delayed the start of the show to get the dog shirt. I think that's
you do get most effort.
I do think that Luke should have gotten all the votes, but if you're not going to vote for Luke, I do think
no one go back and change their vote right now. You'll just be a coward.
We know.
All right, I think we're going to put Timothy Scott's question to the poll. Who should watch?
Oh my God.
Tucker Carlson's 1/6 documentary for the team.
But I was going to say about direct confrontation, Genevieve, is that, like, there are costs to it. Like, it's not as if, but what the reason that people avoid it, in my opinion, and like instead call the police, which seems like such a bad solution, is because to the person who is bothered, the easiest solution to them is for me to whisper softly in Ben's ear and say, "Can you make Genevieve go away? Could you just make her go away right now?" Instead of being like, "Genevieve, I don't want to hear what you have to say." I'm just going to be like, "Hey, that was really easy." And so I can just do that, and Ben does it for and so there's just kind of but
I mean, sometimes I actually have the power to do that.
Yes.
But the police do have the power. This is why people call the police on parties instead of walking over to a party and being like, "If you don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to call the police." I'm like, yeah.
I hear your point, and I'm going to respectfully disagree, because also how we frame our confrontation is so important. And this is where I think it's like a skill set, because if you go over to the party and you're like, "I need you to shut the fuck up," then they're going to have a defensive reaction. But if you're like, "Hi, this is the reason why I need you to do this," I feel like people are more similar than they are different. And maybe that's just a very naive way to think about it.
I think that you're generally right that is the approach that you should take. I think there are plenty of times that drunk college kids will be like, "Screw you, old lady."
Yeah. No,
slam
totally
the door
right.
in your face and be like, whatever. But what I'm saying is that in none of those scenarios is merely the only reason is the reason you should be calling a third party.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the stones to go over and just ask for your preferences to be respected. It's just more efficient. It's going to have long-term effects, but also so there was actually also related to this. My next door neighbor in this apartment complex used to have really crazy parties. They're kind of great. But she'd have these parties, and before she had the party, she would go door to door and put a little flyer and a little bag of cookies on every single neighbor's doorstep and say, "I'm having a really loud party. Oh, it's going to go until really late at night. And my friends are all going to be coming in and out of the building. Here's my cell phone number. If there's any problems, call me directly. And you can call me and I'll we'll do our best to try to quiet things down. If you're upset, please don't call the police." Type of thing. And She's had multiple parties and it's gone over very well. I think that most
That's
people
awesome.
totally respect that. I think it's a great. I love it. Like I think it's amazing.
Have
I
you
thought
heard?
that
Have you
was
also? I think that's wonderful. Have you also heard the one about the parents on the plane who were traveling with the baby?
yeah.
They brought earplugs for everyone.
And, like
Yeah.
buy everyone champagne or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
These
so
are all
does
like
it come down?
post
Does it come
effects.
down to like a community building thing that like our like comfort with confrontation is also tied to like our strength of community?
No, I think it's basically about understanding, expressing that you're not trying to override other people's norms with your own selfish preferences. So if you signal to people that you're trying, that you understand what you're doing is disruptive and you're sorry for it, that like even if you hadn't like bought them something or given them something, it would be like if you just looked around the plane and looked miserable and were like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. If you acted entitled and like my baby is like, I'm just gonna eat my popcorn and watch my shows and my baby's gonna scream next to me, I think people are like, who is this lady who thinks, so that it's just the signaling of it all. But
Okay.
that's all because I just like to talk about norms. Hi, Ben. How's your paddling going?
It's fine. I am still working on stuff, but I think we should start bringing in audience members because lots of people have things to say today. The poll is up, by the way, based on Tim Scott's question.
I just want to thank everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Why are you thanking them?
I have 0 votes.
No, you don't. Oh, who watched Chuck Carlson's?
So Pete Struck just texted me that he thought it was shocking that there was a second person in the world willing to wear a dog shirt. I just want to point out that we have evidence here that there's not just a second, but a third. And since Scott has been known to wear a dog shirt too, that is 4. Genevieve recently ordered a dog shirt that puts all of my dog shirts to shame. And I mean, it is an out there dog shirt. I was going to order it, but it didn't exist in my size. So Genevieve ordered it instead.
I'm so excited for it, and I can't wait for it to get here.
This
And
is the
Eve
poodle
Gouman
one?
ordered a lion shirt. And so this whole thing is
Spiraling
catching
out of
on.
control.
Yeah. So I think, Pete is like, you are on the losing side of this battle, Pete.
If you were going to get a shirt for Pete Struck that was not a dog shirt, what animal would you get him?
Well, I happen to have Pete Struck right here. Pete, what if you were going to wear an animal that was not a dog shirt, what animal shirt would you wear?
Oh my
Ben,
God,
I
it's Pete
can't.
there.
Can you hear me? I can't.
We can
see
hear
but
you.
I
We
assume
can't
you
see
can hear
you.
me.
Your camera doesn't seem to be
Oh,
working.
for God's sakes! If I were
What do
to
you-
wear an animal, it would not be a shirt. I swear it'd be like one of the shaman guy at the hill, some sort of like headdress with a big skin of some sort of fur as a cape. But Ben, I came on under the condition, Ben, that I figured, well, what's going on? I haven't tuned into In Lieu of Fun in a while, and I pull it up, and I see not one, not two, but all 3 of you, disappointingly, wearing not only dog shirts, but almost matching dog shirts, which I assume is just a function of
We went
the
as
amount
Ben
of
for
bleach,
Halloween.
the amount of bleach in the last load that Kate apparently did with her all color bleach to make the colors pop compared
No,
to
that
the
is an incorrect assumption, in fact.
there's such a diversity of dog shirt available on the open
There
market that one
is.
can choose the specific.
There are dozens of
tonality.
available dog shirts.
But Ben, you need to. I got to figure out my. Well, it's just as well you can't see my video. I came on Benjamin Wittes under the condition that you would share not only with me, but with the entire audience, the suit that you both threatened to buy and wear to a course at Georgetown, which you graciously recently came and spoke to. But fortunately, that didn't come to pass, and I was going
Okay,
to let you
so
take it
let
over
me
and
say,
explain the story.
yes, so I will explain the story. I was, and I'm sharing my screen as we speak, and you will notice a significant degradation of quality of image, and I will explain that. So,
Can I just stop and ask everybody what's not to like? And if you cannot hear my tongue firmly planted in cheek, then
okay, so
you need to spend more time with me, and hopefully that was transparent.
here is what
My
happened.
disdain. But continue, please. I'm sorry. I'm
Genevieve and
prejudicing the
I
audience.
were texting about dog shirts, and Genevieve was excited about the acquisition of her on its way dog shirt, and Genevieve discovered on Etsy a vintage 1980s hounds all over blazer and sent it to me, and I immediately ordered it. And believing that it might be here
Figured I'll be damned the size. There is no tailor. There is no cost too great to accommodate it to my
correct.
body shape.
I did not measure whether my shoulder to shoulder would fit in it. I just ordered it and figured I would wear it ill fitting, but it was going to be $95. And it was worth it just to show up once on In Lieu of Fun. So I ordered it. And then I sent an image of it, this very image, in fact, to you and to Shane Harris, saying, truthfully, that if it arrived in time, I would wear it to your class because I know how you feel about dog shirts. It did not
And let's
arrive.
just expand that. You know how I feel about education. You know how I feel about any number of things. But
about,
sure. Yes.
conspicuous.
Let's limit this to
and of
dog
course,
shirts.
being a counterintelligence guy, I know Pete has certain feelings about being conspicuous as well. The shirt did not, the blazer did not arrive in time for Pete's class, and hence I did not wear it. And out of perhaps inspired respect for Pete's sensibility, I did not even wear a dog shirt to his class. I was a very good boy. I came dressed appropriately. Is that correct, Pete?
Oh God, yes, it was fantastic. You were articulate and spectacular, and
I didn't make one
and
inappropriate
without
comment. I didn't
able...
say we are not allowed to have fun anymore.
No.
But in lieu of fun, Shane Harris and I are here to talk about it. I actually played the role of a Washington, boring suit type who does, commentary on important issues and all that bullshit.
Yes, suitably impressive and awe-inspiring for the assembled classes. The way I feel, I was trying to find. I pulled up the text, and
but
I
wait,
don't know.
Pete,
Go ahead. Sorry.
But before you,
I was going to explain my sense of dog shirts, but go ahead.
Then, a few days later, I received a text on Etsy from the woman who runs the store that I bought said dog blazer from. She had inadvertently left it up after selling it to somebody else, and therefore had canceled my order, and wanted to know if I wanted a refund or whether there was something else at her store that I wanted. I informed her that I wanted a refund. She refunded my $95 plus the shipping and handling, and so Pet Noodle says that it is still up, and she just found it, and I want to say,
in which
do
case I'll
not
have to
order
reading what I think Petra just said. I will have to yet again call my old friends in the mail distribution and mail service and intercept the shipment yet again to make sure you don't get that travesty of a jacket.
It is not.
I'm going to be searching for dog
Well,
jackets
and now we've turned it into a crowdsource thing, and I'm inevitably the audience is going to find Ben his blazer. I will just say I was looking. I don't know who the protagonist is in Green Eggs and Ham, but I look at you very much like Sam, and your dog shirt is my Green Eggs and Ham. Only I will never try it, and I will never like it, and I will not. There is no condition under which the Green Eggs and Ham / dog suit and I shall ever meet.
I do want to say that life is long. We will get you. We will get you in a dog shirt. Yeah.
But during actually the certain elements of the media are listening to this, and during the second Trump administration, when we're all in Guantanamo, we will be issued, instead of the orange jumpsuits, we will all be issued dog shirts.
Blonde dog shirts.
Then everybody will look, and we'll be lined up on kind of extreme right wing media, all in our little dog shirts,
goodness.
shackled to the floor. It'll be great.
The dog shirt.
The storm will
symbol.
be here.
In a slightly less dystopian future, where we do not have a second term, think about how much money we could raise for a charity of your choice, Mr. Struck, if we were to say, if we raised a certain amount, you would wear a dog shirt.
On in lieu of fun,
I'm willing to entertain.
a story.
I think Tom Nichols and Preet's Indian dinner is probably still a better fundraising opportunity, but I'm willing to entertain that notion, but only after we determine that in fact the storm does not entail Guantanamo photos and dog shirts, because that seems
here's my
kind of the perfect dystopian image of the future that I hold in my mind.
How much money would we have to raise for a charity of you, and for what charity? For you to wear a dog shirt on in lieu of fun and play Where's the Lie?
A substantial amount. I'm not gonna I need to consult with counsel. I need to consult my conscience. I need to consult a lot of things before I
think about the charity, because I remember once upon a time
you were simultaneously both very quiet and seemingly quite judgmental behind your spoon and cheese, but that's fine. I'm okay with that.
I'm just listening. I'm just neutral over here. I'm just like enjoying. I've been told I have a fairly expressive face. So apparently I don't even need sound sometimes. Like I can just make like faces. But no, I do want to say that like I really don't want, I think that I loved that jacket. I'm sorry it slipped from our fingers, but I think that we should set the bar to a full suit with ideally a cummerbund.
I will wear it.
What?
I will wear it. You guys find it 42 short.
And a bow tie, because it's the first half of bow. But
no. I will not wear a bow tie.
Even if it's a little.
Man. There are standards.
Oh, Ben. If it's a little dog bow tie.
Well, a dog bow tie, but
I'm sure we can find. I'm sure somebody will find that in under 30 seconds.
The bow tie is just the eyes.
Who do you think I am? Thomas Ilves?
Yes, the stuff of nightmares.
Price?
The things that
Paul
will send the children
Rosenzweig?
screaming when they come to your house for candy. That's exactly, a bow tie of dog eyes.
What if it was just like a little dog bone, Ben? Like a little milk bone.
That's
so cute,
perfect.
Kate.
I have a serious question for you, Pete. What is the Federalist going to do with the audio of this episode?
Shut up. I was thinking today, I was reading a crazy story about the CIA. Did you guys see about this crazy CIA operative in Mexico?
No.
Yes,
No.
Genevieve. Have you heard it? You already have heard about this guy? And the serial rapist?
The torture one?
Yeah. Well, no.
All right, then no. Please tell me.
I don't know. It turns out that he was, for the last year, listed as is on staff at the Mexican embassy for the U.S. And it turns out he's a CIA. He was an active CIA agent, and traveled around the world and did a bunch of other things. And apparently, in his spare time, was on dating apps and taking videos of women that he gave tons of drugs to, and would then render unconscious and
Holy
take videos
shit.
of him assaulting them. And he is going to jail for a long time, thank God, and a bunch of other stuff. but there were like hundreds of these videos, and it was it's like there's actually he's been sworn to pay $10,000 restitution to every victim, and they've put out a call on the FBI website to like basically say like if you think you were a victim of this man. And I was just thinking about like if he came up in our CIA FBI smackdown, that would be like our like that would be a serious. I was like, that's a serious blow against the CIA. That's like
and that's not even an unfortunate. I mean, that's not even something you can bring up in like
no, but
rivalry banter. But there was another. The problem is there was another. I don't think it's this guy. There was a guy named Warren, like back in like 08, 09, 2010, like a former station chief who was accused and convicted of the same thing, like drugging and raping women. And again, it's not a, I mean,
really
organizations are a
no, it's
function
not
of
an
the people they
organization
employ.
thing, but there is a certain amount of like tradecraft that like when used for evil, like right?
Yeah,
Like I
sure.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
I think that's.
It
I think
just
that's
is
right.
like
I
yeah,
didn't. I'll
it's
have
like
to look this
it's
up. I didn't.
certainly
I didn't
not
hear
going to paint like CIA is that entirely for any by any means, but it is kind of like it's super dark. Yeah. Anyway, but
Sorry to hear
I was
that.
like, and this is why I like Pete Struck. So
Terry Filico. Pete, you're welcome to hang around as a disembodied voice if you like. Terry, the floor is yours.
Thanks. I have a student who asked me the other day if he should think about joining the Federalist Society when he moves from my community college to another local university. I know what answer I gave him, but I'm wondering if I gave him the right answer.
There
What's
is
your-
no right
general
answer to this question. So on many campuses, the FedSoc does the best programming around, and the value, the reason the institution has been so successful over the years is that it actually provides a needed service on a lot of law school campuses, which is ideological and philosophical diversity, which campuses, law schools are not all that good at, particularly elite law schools. And so if you're saying, like, should somebody join the Yale Law School FedSoc, the answer is probably, because they're going to hear ideas and discussions that they won't hear anywhere else. My experiences with the Harvard Law School FedSoc are pretty uniformly positive. And when FedSoc campus has asked me to speak, I always do it if I can. And I think there are, the where the organization is much more problematic, honestly, is at its national level, and particularly the politicized, intimacy between the organization and certain, and White Houses, basically. But I think I think the organization mostly gets a bad rap, in the sense that most of what it does is provide discussion forums in a lot of places that need more diversity in their discussion forums. And so I would say it probably depends where the person's going to law school. But if the person is not wants to have his or her mind broadened at most elite law school settings, the FedSoc will be providing conversations that are not available elsewhere. And I would not discourage such a thing.
Can I just say, one, is this person in law school or is this an undergraduate?
This person's an undergrad
Yeah,
right now,
that's
like
what I thought.
undergrad at a community college, but older. And
Sure.
he's looking to, this is in the Dayton area, and he's looking to go to transfer from community college, hopefully he thinks, to the University of Dayton for undergrad. But he's looking for opportunities to broaden his mind. He's a self-described conservative, and so he's looking for ways to find information.
So my like, I don't have anything, like, whatever Ben feels about FedSoc, whatever I feel about FedSoc, whatever. I think as a teacher, your only job is to say to him, this is how people perceive FedSoc on the left. This is how people perceive it on the right. This is like kind of the benefits. These are the drawbacks of those two perceptions. You make your own choice. And like, that's kind of how, like, I would generally, like, that's what I would generally say to a student. I mean, your job is to provide context, right? Like, they have this thing in front of them and they don't know what to make out of it. It's like, it's not, on the one, it's, it's like when, as a teacher, it's like when if somebody hands you a book or any type of primary source, and like, you're just supposed to give them like, well, this is what most people think this book is about. Like, you can read the book yourself, like, type of thing. So
I did tell him my opinion had changed over the years, that I might have given him a different answer a decade ago than I would give now, but I think maybe I will amend that next time I speak with him.
GDF, what's your view of the FedSoc as a current law student? Presumably there's a St. John's FedSoc chapter.
Yeah, and
what's your perception of what it does?
I think that they do a really good job of organizing events on campus. They do get a lot of speakers on campus. It is a very useful resource for, I am definitely, like, I've signed up and I'm a member of the St. John's local one just because I want to know, like, when events occur. I think everyone on here knows that my view on things is not necessarily in line with the broader national agenda, but I think it's valuable to at least meet people and talk and have discussions.
It's really helpful. Thank you.
That's my view of it as well. I just think the more local the community, the more value, particularly in lefty or liberal communities, the more value FedSoc is providing.
Great. Thank you, Brett. Thank you.
Yep. Richard Wattenbarger, the floor belongs to you and Anton Bruckner.
Anton Bruckner. Yay, Bruckner. So, well, Bernard Haitink died, and now I've been listening to a lot of Bruckner again. So, yeah. I mean, I could be listening to a lot of Mahler, but...
I like Mahler.
Well, I know you like Mahler. Good. Well, when you're listening to Mahler, you're also hearing Bruckner.
No. What's your question, Richard? Now you're just trolling me.
Now I'm making the scene. So since we've been talking about the notion of confrontation, my question for the panelists is, when, where, and why have you ever made a scene? And did you ever, looking back, is it something that you are glad you did, or do you regret it? And so that's really what it amounts to.
Genevieve, when have you made a scene?
I was out to dinner with family and we started discussing politics, and I lost my cool. It was prior to the last election, and I wish I had handled it better. I stand by my perspective and my opinions, and on a follow-up conversation, I was able to change some opinions, but it wasn't in the moment where I lost my emotional cool. So.
KK, when have you made a scene?
You go first.
When have I made a scene? I don't know. I don't think of myself as making scenes. I think of myself as a kind of provocateur sometimes, but not like, I don't have temper tantrums, like I don't, I also don't actually like, like shouting matches, and so like, I like confrontation. I like shit disturbing, but like a scene implies that, somebody's flying off the handle, and that's like kind of not my thing. I don't know. I'd have to think about a situation where I made a scene. Kate?
Yeah, I like. Yeah, I can't remember. Like, I think that I basically like even, well, I mean, definitely with my family, but I don't think that's public. Like, kind of, it doesn't really count like a safe space. Like, you kind of go off the handle because you can type of thing, and they love you forever, ideally. Um,
Oh, I
but
just
yeah,
remembered one
okay,
that
go ahead.
I have told this story about my making a scene with a labor and delivery nurse in a childbirth class. And that was definitely a decision to say something that the crowd I was in would find very inappropriate, at the risk of making a whole lot of people very uncomfortable. And I wish I were the sort of person who was not proud of having done that, but I'm totally actually the sort of person who is proud of having done that. And I don't congratulate myself for that. I think I'm a less good person than the sort of person who would have done that and been a little bit ashamed of it, but I'm not ashamed of it at all. Oblio, 23. The floor is yours.
I'm not sure why my lighting is so weird, but anyway.
You're getting in touch with your inner Daniel today.
So I was wondering if we can use Sarah Longwell's focus group ability to do something, since we're coming near the end of a French Village, to do some kind of focus group and have a joint discussion about the different characters.
You mean like have a French Village focus group?
Yeah.
Where we like actually see whether Lucienne is in fact as unpopular as she is among Sarah and me. Well, Sarah doesn't hate her as much as I do. And I want to say I don't hate her nearly as much as Eve Goumond, who I just happen to have right here, does. Eve texts me weekly with bile about Lucienne. I am not sure I've ever met somebody who hates a fictional character quite as much as Eve enjoys hating Lucienne.
She's pretty detestable, and she just doesn't get any better over time. But I do think
she's busy murdering her husband in the current set of episodes.
But I do think she plays an important role in the story. I don't think that it's a failure.
Spoiler alert, Ben. Wait, everyone! I'm behind on the French Village. Like, stop!
I didn't say whether she manages it.
I'm not saying any spoilers.
Okay, I will take this. I will take this.
Is like a saint, as the halo around her suggests. Ben, shh.
Okay. I will raise the issue whether we should have a crossover episode of the focus group and the French Village podcast, where we have one final audience involvement Zoom focus group where Sarah conducts a focus group about the French Village. I think there's a lot of merit to this idea, and maybe we should do it on in lieu of fun. So let's think about it. I like this idea.
Yeah, the only reason I was thinking of focus group is because you could have more than one person on with you and Sarah at the same time.
Yeah, it's a good model. Well, it also brings together Sarah's skill set with the specific. It's a good idea. It's a good gag. Thank you. Okay, so to wrap us up today, I have Eve here, and Eve has been inspired by Scott Shapiro to put together a PowerPoint presentation for us. So do you know how to share your screen, Eve?
In theory, yeah. In practice, it's not as clear. I'm not able to see my window in the screen sharing.
So if you hover over your pane, a menu shows up on top.
Yeah, that's
and
done.
One of the options is a share screen.
Yes, that's where I am currently, but you hear me?
They don't always show up.
Yeah, that's the point.
I have the
don't
same
see
problem.
the window. I don't see the window where my PowerPoint is.
Okay, so send me your PowerPoint and I'll bring it up and I'll click through it.
Right. So,
You've got some serious background noise up there in Quebec.
yeah, I'm kind of in a bar, which was a coffee. So that's the reason why.
That makes me very happy.
Yeah, yep.
Are the other people in the bar watching in lieu of fun too?
Yeah,
Is it
we're
like a
making
watch party?
exactly. They're pretty excited about it. Like they really liked it. Of course
Yeah.
not. Of course not. I'm alone waiting for someone, and making PowerPoints in the meanwhile.
All right. Well, we will take some other questions and just send it to me, and when I've got it up, I will bring you back.
And we're also like 8 minutes away, and
yeah, I don't think it's a long PowerPoint.
is
So
it one
Mateo, I've been trying to bring on Mateo, and like often happens with Mateo, it says accepted and it connecting, and then he just stays there until like the last.
Because he's out
second.
in a walk somewhere.
Yeah, he's out walking somewhere. So I'm just going to read his questions. He has a number of important issues that he's raising. The first and most important is, at what point... Oh, no, that's a serious question. Would you rather have a hairy tongue or tongues for hair?
Easy.
Which one?
I'd rather have a hairy tongue because you can trim that and keep that manageable. Tongues for hair, I'd be tasting things that I didn't necessarily want to taste.
Kate?
I could have coconut and chocolate shampoo. So that's my answer.
I'm going to go with a hairy tongue because I can keep that in my mouth and nobody needs to see it. I mean, there's just a privacy aspect to a hairy tongue, whereas tongues for hair, like I don't think I'd be able to talk to anybody about anything else. Daniel, the floor is yours.
I am wondering whether anyone has brief thoughts on the governor's race in Virginia that's coming up.
Yeah, I have very brief thoughts. Anybody who tells you that they know what's going to happen or have a strong instinct about it is basically guessing, and you should just wait for the actual results. I would not be surprised by anything from a substantial sort of decisive win by McAuliffe that's much more decisive than the polls suggest, to a solid victory for what's his name? Youngkin. So I actually think the data are reasonably consistent with all kinds of outcomes, and I don't think it is really worth 4 days out gaming out something, particularly given how unreliable state polls of can be, although Virginia polls tend to be relatively good. That's my thought. Do any of you have other thoughts?
Nina has a thought.
Hi, Nina. Mm-hmm. And there is Mateo, who shows up just as I was trying to bring on Ave. Mateo, we already answered your question, but you have some others if you want to throw one in before Ave's PowerPoint to close us out.
Sure. There's a pretty serious one, and then there's a mostly serious one. Which would you prefer?
I think it's up to you, man.
Neither.
Neither?
All right,
Make
Kate
up
wants
another
you
tongue
simply
question.
dismissed. I think Kate just like banished you, dude.
No,
Guess
I just
so.
don't feel like I just don't want like. Can you give us a? I would like to know what you're going to be for Halloween, Mateo.
I've
He's going to
given
be
it.
Paula.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Paula.
Because you guys were all me, so Mateo's going to be Paula.
Mm-hmm.
It would
And
be
Paula
just
will be
workout gear, and you'd have to get a much lighter barbell to carry around because she's tough. And
Yeah.
yeah,
You can do them with the foam though.
I know that's what I mean. Like you'd get one of those.
Yeah.
What the
All
hell
right.
is this thing that I'm looking at?
We're going to leave
It's a leopard
Mateo on
gecko
the
shirt?
screen while Eve gives her PowerPoint. Eve, the floor is yours. You just tell me when you want the next slide. Hello?
Eve, I think you're still muted.
No, she's not muted. Unless she's muted on her end. Refresh your screen, Eve.
Mateo.
Mateo, you can keep talking.
Oh, sure. So we're going to talk about the canceled celebrities then?
Yeah, what do you think of canceled celebrities?
I don't think much of them, but I was wondering what you like that they've made. Or used to
Eve
like
is
that
back.
they've
Can
made.
we hear you, Eve?
Nope.
No, we can't. We're trying something else with her sound. How about now? I love this. We can have Eve, or we can have her PowerPoint, but it's like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. You can't have both.
It's nothing like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, Ben.
All right, I'm going to dismiss Eve altogether and bring her back because that's the kind of guy I am.
What are these 4 shirt options?
We're going to let Eve describe her own work product here. I don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
There she is. Okay.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, as you said earlier, I bought a Lion shirt, about which I'm very excited, but we have currently some problems with the delivery of the said shirt. So I was looking to buy another one from a Canadian shop, which is awesome and which has very cool material. And I figured that there was some shirts for all of you. So there's the gecko, or I don't know, like the lizard t-shirt for Ben. And then there's...
I might have to buy that one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very cool.
Just for profile picture. on
Yes. Then there's one for Kate, which is like...
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's one for Scott.
Oh, that's excellent. The person breaking the internet Scott shirt.
Yeah. And there's one for Genevieve who bought.
I love mine. Thank you.
There you go.
These are amazing. What a good PowerPoint.
Pretty perfect.
Now you have to send me. I can't hear any. I can't even hear ourselves. Then we have to mute Jen. Okay. I want to actually have links to be able to buy those things. They're amazing.
Seriously,
I think we
that's
should
incredible.
all wear our appropriate shirts on a given day. We should all order them. Eve, send us the links,
Please.
and we will order the relevant shirts. Look, you have frittered away an hour of your time with, I wouldn't say the most frivolous In Lieu of Fun show ever, but between Pete's railing against dog shirts and Eve's proposing other shirts, we're certainly in the running for the most frivolous In Lieu of Fun show ever. But we have Nina there to calm us all down.
I swear to God, this dog is like a Xanax in the flesh. She just is like this. She just like leans into your chest and she smells good and is like warm and cuddly. So lovely.
So sweet.
Anyway, yeah. But we have Halloween. I am Ben. I know you don't go as a gorilla anymore, but there was also a great New York Times story today about a father who was very upset because no one likes to frighten anyone in his neighborhood for Halloween, and how he like feels so stifled. Yes, that everyone just like gives out Mars bars and dresses as Harry Potter, and like that was it. And like there, I just think I was thinking about you. I was also thinking about me and like how much my family should celebrate it. So everyone have fun. I mean, it
It
sounds
is
like
not. I don't mind frightening the kids in the moment. It's the idea that 7 years later, she's still having nightmares about the costume that made me feel guilty.
yeah. I
We
mean,
will be back Monday.
to talk about
5 o'clock.
Dune.
Yeah, I have not watched Dune. I have not read Dune, so I'm going to be a minimal participant in that conversation.
Well,
You have
you
time to
can
watch
do it. It's on HBO Max. Yeah,
I heard it's
well,
really long.
it's 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it's very long, but it's very good. I think it's very, very good. So
All right. That'll be a bunch of hours and 58 minutes from now. And until then, Nina,
we don't have fun anymore, but in lieu of fun, we have